Welcome back, kids. We're discussing the economic impact of the China coronavirus and the associated government shutdowns. We're now joined by Wall Street speculator Bill Spetrino and Mark Mix, president of the National Right to Work Committee. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be with you.
All right, Bill. Yep, Bill, we're going to start with you. Main Street has been absolutely hammered by the government shutdowns, but Wall Street has actually had a pretty strong April. What is driving the markets at this point?
The liquidity that the Fed put in, they put in about $7 trillion of stimulus, and as the earnings come in and the prices come down, people start buying the stocks and they're looking for bargains, and that's what we've been doing.
Understood. Bill, let me just ask you a real quick question on that, because this bears pointing out that the Fed is providing this liquidity, but their loans, we got to pay that back. So if they're doing $3 to $7 trillion of liquidity on top of the $3 trillion Congress has already spent and the $3 trillion that Nancy Pelosi wants to spend, we're talking about what? At bare minimum, $9 to $10 trillion of spending we have no way of paying for?
Well, when you're an investor, you have to look for earnings and companies that aren't going to be disturbed by this. My biggest positions is Viacom CBS. Well, Pluto Television, which a lot of people that are out here on my bio forum and my subscribers are watching this on, is a CBS product. And it's with this shutdown, it's done better. Or Altria, which sells cigarettes and the vaping. People that would be normally working all day, they're not working, and they're smoking and vaping more. So you just have to pick your spots when you're doing this. There will be businesses that will suffer, but long term, we got to get back to work. 30 counties accounted for, half the cases and 57% of the deaths. The other people should be getting back to work.
Mark, let's pick up the conversation with you. As I mentioned with Bill, at $3 trillion from Nancy Pelosi, it's basically a socialist wish list, and much of that bill is unrelated to the China virus. That's not what the American people need right now from a bill like this. What do they need?
Yeah, that's right, Chris. Speaker Pelosi has said she was going to go big, and go big is what she did. $3 trillion of basically papering over years and years and years of basically states being irresponsible, if you will, about how they run not only their governments day to day, but their pension and retirement programs. And as you mentioned, Chris, about $1 trillion of this bill that's going to be voted on tomorrow, we understand, 1,800 pages being voted on tomorrow, $3 trillion. $1 trillion goes to paper over promises that union officials and politicians made over the years on deals they knew they could never fulfill on pensions and operating requirements of governments. And so states like Illinois, California, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, they're going to try to paper over all of this mismanagement over the years because of union monopoly bargaining and union control over many of these legislatures, and they're going to try to make the American taxpayer bail it out. It's not going to be pretty, that's for sure.
Yeah, in the meantime, and Mark, we'll stay with you. In the meantime, you've got these Democrat governors out there, these socialist governors who are demonizing the people. Their crimes are wanting to go back to, they want to go back to work. You've got Maxine Waters out there saying that she doesn't want these businesses to open up. She out and out said it. You've got Governor Whitmer, who is putting herself against her own people, and she's accusing her own people of being racist and misogynist if they dare oppose her. And those stories are playing out in left-wing state capitals all over this country. What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, it's not a surprise. I mean, I think there's a lot of pent-up energy here. People need to get back to work. I think it was Fed Chairman Powell that said 1 out of every 4 Americans who makes under $40,000 a year is out of work. That's crazy, and people need to pay their rent. They need to feed their families. But one thing that's happening, Chris, is very interesting. You see some of these big liberal state governors like Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, who has issued an executive order saying he's going to basically rescind union monopoly power over 50,000 state employees because he needs to run his state. He needs to be able to make decisions to fiscally prepare for what's coming, and that is more serious, really, than anything else we're looking at, and that is the economies of these states and how in the world are they going to pay for these promises they made that they now never can keep with these government employees.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one. A Democrat dismantling union bargains, that's pretty amazing. Bill, last question I have for you. The last question I have for you is regarding China. Now, we're hard hit in the United States as a capitalist economy. Praise God, one day, a free enterprise economy. How hard are the communist Chinese being hit?
They're not telling you, but, when we catch a cold, when we sneeze, they catch a cold. Okay, they're secretly very upset about this. This is all a political football that they send to us because, neurotic Nancy and skinny dipping Joe, they want them to be in charge. They don't want Trump to be in charge. Trump has done, this was all a political football for them. And they want everyone else to hurt as much as they're hurting right now. But trust me, Trump has this under control, and it's going to hurt them a lot more than it's going to hurt us.